Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. Today is May 8th, 2025, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, FOMC gives us no surprises and markets react accordingly. Now looking at today's major economic events, so at 1 p.m. South African time, from Great Britain, we have an official bank rate. That's an interest rate decision from the Bank of England. Now looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs continue to trade sideways as we look at the indices. The Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both have mild gains. And looking at commodities, gold continues to sell off while oil really unchanged. And looking at the stocks, a little bit of a divergence there. Disney has a big gap up after posting great earnings, while NVIDIA also gains to the upside. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin pushing close to 100K. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. Now it traverses closer to its supportish level. You can see it's sitting right there. If it does break this 112.80-ish level and it breaks it with some momentum, we could see a correctional move, maybe to as much as 200 pips. Maybe. Okay, that's what my guesstimation would be. Yes, we do have supportish level at 111.60-ish level. I don't expect it to go so quickly, but it might be something to look into. Now, the rest of the real markets are just trading sideways. A little bit of a move upwards here for the Japanese yen as it extends just below its 30-day moving average. And if it breaks it, that might be something interesting, and especially if we get that crossover with the 8-day moving average above that 30-day moving average. Now, moving along to commodities, we're looking at gold here, and it does continue to retrace. We're looking at a daily chart, and it is at supportish level right here, and maybe stalling at this area as it's bouncing off of that 30-day moving average if we look at a 4-hour chart. Now, it's been kind of trading in a sideways, not really having any kind of particular, okay, in a larger scheme, a direction or trend, because we're consolidating. Yes, we're in a major consolidation, okay, and then there's the minor consolidation. And at this level, just have to be really picky where you enter and how you exit. So yes, there is supportish level if you want to jump into it on the long side. Potentially it could bounce off of this to that 3.365 or above, maybe 3.378-ish level, but just be aware of it, that it's still not trending upwards or downwards. Okay, so I don't expect anything major on the upside. Now looking at oil, really unchanged day to day, $58 a barrel. Now jumping into the US markets, yes, they extended their gains, 41,345 on the Dow Jones. Let's see if it takes it higher. There are some stocks that are pushing higher, namely Disney. Okay, we could look it up a little bit later, but looking at the NASDAQ, a nice pivot above 20K. That's a huge comeback, right? Remember when we hit 16,000 on the NASDAQ and we're getting to that 50% level. And guess what? We're potentially setting ourselves up to an inverse, upside down head and shoulders. Okay, so that potentially will be a shoulder at that 200-day moving average or just shy of it. Okay, at 20,200-ish level, we're just about 120 points away from that. So let's see if those gains can extend themselves. Now, looking at the individual stocks, Microsoft having some problems pushing higher here. It's not selling off yet, but it is having some problems pushing higher. Facebook also on that threshold as well. So these stocks really have to go higher before we get any confirmation. Now, yesterday, FOMC, no big surprises. Nothing really doing the markets in terms of the FOMC. Didn't decrease interest rates, okay, because inflation is not completely out of the window. And we still have to see how these tariffs are going to play out with the United States. So a lot of uncertainty in the markets. NVIDIA did push higher, did get a nice spike above to 115-ish level, a nice push higher, okay, as that also made a massive recovery, okay, from our $83 low. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin, because that is the star. Okay, Bitcoin has changed itself. It is super strong. And we mentioned this because when the markets were selling off, Bitcoin was not. It was relatively very, very strong and holding itself up. And that is classic trading. When the markets go off and I have an asset that's specifically very strong, in the comeback, it comes back very strong. And sure enough, voila. Okay, so this was an easy target, an easy trade on the upside. So this is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.